Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. This is Steph Lee, the founder of Host Agency Reviews. Thank you for tuning in for the Friday 15, where every Friday, 12 p.m. Central Time, we answer the wonderful questions that you all have been so kind to submit. So thank you for submitting them. And if you have a question for us, you can go to hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15 and submit your very own. So those of you that are tuning in on video, see we have a co-host on as usual. You may recognize her. We have Kendra Tainsh on from Travel Edge. Hello, Kendra.
Hi, Steph. Thanks for having us back again. Every Friday we do this is wonderful. So thank you.
I know, it's so fun. And I can't believe we're nearing the end of the year for I think I get confused. Oh yeah, no. Because next Friday next Thursday is Thanksgiving. So I've got to try to remember that. It's so late this year. So happy Thanksgiving early to everybody. Let me just pull up my notes because a couple things I wanted to mention before we get started. Most important thing, I've been talking about this for a couple weeks, but we have Host Week coming up the end of January last week. It's a wonderful party if you haven't joined, especially for newbies out there that are looking for a host agency. It's a great way to hear from. Last year, I think we had 35 to 40 host agencies. It's a great way for you to be able to hear from them, interact with their team, hear more on what they're like. We've heard from quite a few people that they go in thinking they want to join one host agency. They listen to their interview and they listen to somebody else and they think, oh, I think this might be a better cultural fit for me. Or I didn't know that they had this. And they end up like making different decisions. So you can sign up for free by going to hostagencyreviews.com/hostweek. And let's see, I think that's our big one. Oh, no. I think I've said this before, but for those of you that are on Apple iTunes, we now have seasons for Travel Agent Chatter. Season 1 is Travel Agent Chatter proper, where it's about an hour-long conversation with advisors from different walks of life. And then season 2 is our Friday 15s. So we finally organized it so it's easier for people to find things in there. Well, let's get into our questions. So today, all right, Kendra, our first one is from Robin R. And Robin says, hi, I'm just joining a travel agent as part of our independent agency. I'm starting in December, but do I need to establish myself as an LLC, as well as set up a business bank account, which I think I will do at the bank that I have been using for my personal banking. And then we have another question after that, but let's start with that, Kendra. So you work with a lot of advisors when they're starting up. For Travel Edge specifically, do you require that they have an LLC set up before going and joining?
Not necessarily, no. They can join either under Travel Edge, under our brand and work under our brand, or else if they want to work under their own business name, they can do that. And that's where they want to set up their own business and their LLC. So you have a choice. You can either work, under the Travel Edge name, or if you want to work under your own name. So you have those that choice to make there for yourself.
Can you do both of them then too? Like have Travel Edge for some things and then I didn't know you guys could operate under Travel Edge. This is so exciting to learn.
Yeah. So when people have their own brand or their own business name, what we do is we ask them to put affiliated with Travel Edge under there so that they know that they're affiliated with Travel Edge under there, but they can go under their own business name. So I could be, Kendra's Custom Travel affiliated with Travel Edge.
Interesting. That's very exciting. So Robin, in this specific instance, because Travel Edge has the opportunity where you're able to use their brand name, which not a lot of hosts do. So that's something that's very unique. But for a lot of host agencies, they may or may not recommend that you have your LLC set up before signing on. But I would recommend that you get that set up beforehand. And the reason is if you can get everything signed up, because when you're signing the contract, when you have to open your business bank account, you're going to need your LLC documents and things along those lines to set up a business account at your bank. And it just makes it easier if from the very beginning, you have your expenses, everything in your business bank account. It's not the end of the world if you don't have everything set up and you sign up with your host agency without that info. But I will say it does make it easier and neater and the process faster, because if you end up getting your LLC later and need to change your name with your host agency, there's more paperwork, all sorts of things. So let's see. Then Robin has another question at the end, and this is a fun one. Do you have any suggestions as to the best credit cards for travel advisors?
So what I would do, Steph, is refer back to the host agency reviews, the 5 best business cards for travel agency rewards.
We'll link to it.
I think that we could link it in there because there's a whole bunch of information on the host agency reviews website about different cards, brands, and the listing of their advantages on there. And it also really depends. Like, I'm a Canadian, Travel Edge is a Canadian US brand. I am located in Canada, so the cards that I would recommend would be different than some of our viewers or listeners that are looking for a US card. So I know the host agency review has some listed on there, so it'd be great to refer back to. But looking at the advantages of having a business card versus using your personal card is you do want to keep, your business expenses probably separate than your personal. So some of the advantages that we had about using business cards is that if you open a business card, it can help you grow your business credit score. So that's really important when you're just starting out and you want to build your credit. So you want to show, when you're building that credit score, it's going to show how trustworthy you are to lenders, and it can help you down the line if you are going to be looking at anything like a business loan. And it also can help lower your business insurance rates. The other advantage that we saw is that with a business card, you can sometimes get a higher credit limit than with your personal card on there, because business expenses tend to be a little bit more expensive. The bank might be a little bit more generous with your credit limits on there.
Exactly. We're going to link to another article I just remembered that we have on setting up your travel agency's financials, which is kind of a core base infrastructure that you'll want to make sure you have in place. So we'll link to that too for you, Robin. But in terms of the best business cards for travel advisors, it is kind of going to depend. Chase has really great cards for US advisors with their Chase Ultimate Rewards points, but it kind of also depends on where you're located. Because for me, it makes sense to have a Delta American Express card because we're out of Minneapolis, which is a Delta hub. And so if there's certain airlines that you're flying or certain hotels that you're always visiting, those are, of course, ones you'll want to take a look at. And then there's the more broad ones like Chase or Amex and things along those lines that are focused on travel. And the article goes really in depth on, if you're looking for cash back or if you want travel points.
Yeah.
And you can go in there and have a ton of fun, Robin. So let's see. Our next question. All right. Jenn T is asking, are there any arrangements where a customer can still earn points with a hotel chain or an airline while they're purchasing through a travel agency? I hate having friends and families make an effort to work with me, and they pay the same as they would if they went and booked it on their own, but they lose those points. Oh, great question.
Yeah, that is a great question. So I do know that when booking through third-party suppliers, and I can give you some examples if you like Expedia, Tap, like hotel beds, right? Clients generally are not eligible for their hotel reward programs because you're purchasing that through a supplier and not through the hotel directly. So I know at Travel Edge, we have preferred programs directly with both our hotel and our airline partners where clients can collect those points for their frequent traveler programs. Some of the big ones that we've got is Hyatt Privé. And if you're not familiar with it, Hyatt Privé is a collection of travel advisors who work with participating Hyatt hotels and resorts to deliver travel experiences to premium clientele. So it's an invitation-only program where you receive access to exclusive offers, recommendations, and insider tips. And your travel agencies have to be an invited member to that program. Same thing with the Marriott Stars and Luminous program, right? When you are, it's an invitation-only program that is giving you amenities such as hotel credits, complimentary breakfast, room upgrades based on availability. And when we book through those programs, you're booking directly with the properties. So you are getting your World of Hyatt points. You're getting your Bonvoy points with Marriott, your Hilton Honors, that sort of thing. So with the ad amenities, you don't always get those with the third-party partners as well. So the same things apply to our airline partners. At Travel Edge, we're part of the Air Canada Circle of Excellence. We're part of Delta Edge Points, giving us priority access for their support teams, and allowing your clients to be able to accumulate those frequent flyer points.
That's awesome. I'm going to just share my screen really quick for those of you that are on video today. So on the, whoops, there's our host week reminder. So on the host agency list, if you have questions and you're wondering, oh, can I book direct? Do you have Privé? Do you have all of these things? Remember that there's a question and answer tab on every host agency's profile where you can quickly ask those questions to any of the host agencies and get an answer back really quickly if you're trying to narrow things down and these are really important for you. So that's something I just wanted to help people remember. And then I think for those specifically, because those programs are number one invite only, you want to ask each individual host directly. But I think the general rule that we can say to you, Jen, is that if you're booking through a third party and not direct, you're probably not going to be able to get those points for your clients. And just to give you background on why that is, there's been a real movement by the suppliers for direct bookings. At first, there was a love affair with online travel agencies. It was like, oh my gosh, we can reach so many people. This is amazing. And then they paid them a real premium over what they were paying traditional travel agencies. And then they started to realize through the years, wait a second, we can also have our own booking engines, and we're giving a whole bunch of money to these people that aren't even providing that much support to them. And so now there's this movement back. If you book direct, you get to have, free Wi-Fi, you get the points, all of those things. And I'll link to an article we have on, there's one on like 3 real life ways travel agencies save you money over OTAs, and then also one on travel agencies versus booking online. That kind of goes a little bit into that if anyone's interested. So we'll link to those and some other resources that Abby has been kind enough to pick out for you this week. And then let's do our last question from Meseret G. And Meseret asks, hi, Steph, are there any host agencies that work with international new advisors outside the US and Canada? So Travel Edge, do you guys work with anyone outside US, Canada?
So we do. We do have agents that work remotely from international locations, but they're linked back to one of our branches in either Canada or the US. So with us here at Travel Edge via our technology ADX, we have the ability to sell in both Canadian and US dollars with our preferred contracts set up with both countries. Because we have different branches, like we have a branch in Toronto, we have one down in California, one in New York. You can sell, our advisors can sell in either Canadian or they can sell in US dollars and be linked back to one of those branches. And our contracts are all set up with our suppliers for Canada, for the US. So we have lead ICs that are located in some international destinations, but we also have sub ICs that are in different countries that are linked back to their lead IC, which has a base in Canada or a base in the US. So yeah, it is possible for us to do.
Cool. Well, at the end, we'll link to Travel Edge's profile for people that are interested in learning more that are outside the US. And then the other thing you can do is, again, showing everyone that is on video, in the filters on the host agency list, I believe, well, I thought there was something here. Should have checked this before going live. So there isn't, but you know what, Meseret, because I have a very small list. I'm not sure where you're located. So like if you're in Southeast Asia or Australia or Europe, we're not as familiar with hosts within Europe and Australia, and it's not, I wouldn't say mainstream there right now, but we can send you over a couple suggestions in those countries of host agencies that we've heard about, even though we know nothing about them. But if you send us a note and let us know what region you're in, you can go to hello@hostagencyreviews.com and we'll send that your way. So, where's my notes? Here we go. Okay. Oh, the other option too, actually, Meseret, if you can't find anybody, again, not sure where you're located, but say you're located in Chile and you can't find anybody, there's also accreditation options that we'll link to where you can get your own accreditation and you can take a look at that. They're different across the world, but there are some that are accepted worldwide. All right. Kendra, we are wrapping things up for today. We're going to link to Travel Edge's profile, as I mentioned. We'll link to your website as well. Is there anything else, any news you want to share, places people should contact you, anything else?
Yeah, so you can always reach out to us. We have a brand new website now. It is www.traveledgenetwork.com. We also have a new Instagram as well at Travel Edge Network that people can look at and can research us from. Those are two new exciting developments we have here.
Oh, I can't wait to go see after this. Very exciting. We'll link to those. Abby will put those in the comments and in the show resources. And then again, coming up for all of you that are just so excited for every Friday and can't wait to see who we have on next. Next week is going to be Travel Planners International. We'll have Dave Meyhofer. And December 6th is going to be Jennifer with Dugan's Travel. December 13th, we have Kendra back again to party it up. So again, if you have questions, you can go to hostagencyreviews.com/Friday15. We would love for you to submit them. And thank you all for joining us. We know Fridays are busy. I'm so proud of you for staying in front of your computer because that's hard to do, especially as we're getting into the depths of winter. So have a wonderful weekend, everyone. And Kendra, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Steph. Appreciate it.
Yes, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Bye.